is Adam Tao, and I will be teaching Felix here today. He's related to me because he's my girlfriend's little brother. I am an undergrad at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. I don't have my own class because teach only a STEM program, not a reading program. But Felix is a middle school student, so we're going to teach him. Felix, what do you like doing for fun?
I like playing games and going outside.
Okay, cool. So the first lesson plan that we're going to be working on today is a lesson plan about history, about World War II. That is a topic that Felix told me that he is covering and is learning more about recently. So the goals that we want to cover for this is finding information, how to find it, and like through reading or through technology. And from there, we're also going to learn about the different kind of sources that he's going to find his information from. The sources can be primary sources or secondary sources. And the third one is through the KWL strategy that we learned through our classroom and through our class, our online course. That's going to be something that I'm going to teach him today for a reading strategy. And the grade level for this lesson plan will be 6. Alright, Felix, so this is a KWL learning plan. So the K stands for what you want to, what you already know, and the W stands for what you want to know, and the L is going to stand for what you want to learn. So do you have some questions that you want to write down for what you want to know?
Questions?
Or what you already know. So what do you already know? You could say it.
Oh, so World War II first started in 1939 when the Nazis invaded Poland, and then after that, a day or two later, Great Britain and France declared war on Germany.
Yeah, those are some good knows.
Yeah.
And then what do you want to know?
Who was Great Britain's leader during World War II?
Okay, so we can use the book to kind of figure out an answer, or you can use technology. Which one would you rather pick?
I'd rather pick
technology.
Yeah. Kind of faster.
Yeah, technology is a little bit faster. One thing that we have to be aware of when we're using technology is understanding what kind of sources our answers are coming from. So go ahead. So for your question of what you want to know, what do you want to know? So your question was who was the Great Britain's leader during World War II?
Yeah.
You can go to any of these sources.
Okay.
So Wikipedia.
Wikipedia is like a secondary.
It's a secondary source. Yeah. So you want to kind of look for a primary one.
So primary homework help.
Yeah, you can click on that one and see what the answer is.
So there's two.
Two leaders?
Yeah.
What's that first one?
So the first one was Neville Chamberlain. He was the Prime Minister of Great Britain in September 1939 at the start of World War II, and then in May 1940, after the disasters.
Yeah.
Norwegian campaign, Chamberlain resigned and Winston Churchill became Prime Minister.
Okay. And then the second ally?
Is Winston Churchill.
Yeah, Winston Churchill. And then you have a couple more people. Joseph Stalin.
So Joseph Stalin was a Russian communist dictator. And then Theodore Roosevelt.
And you know him already?
Yeah. And then Harry Truman became president of the United States in the final year of World War II.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one that gave the up. So French, Charles de Gaulle. Yeah, Charles de Gaulle.
French general.
Led the French in their first in the fight against Germany after World War II. He became president of France.
Did you know about these other people, or did you just mainly know about Roosevelt and them?
So I already knew about Roosevelt, Harry Truman, Winston Churchill, but not Neville.
Yeah.
And then I already learned about Charles de Gaulle. And the other ones I haven't learned about it, except for like Adolf.
Adolf, the
and
Axel Power.
yeah, and then Hideki Tojo.
You knew him or no?
Yeah. Oh, I read about him.
Oh, Prime Minister.
Oh yeah, and Benito Mussolini. I learned about him.
Oh, you learned about them already in class? Okay, cool. Yeah, it's important to kind of understand where your student stands in the history process already, because when it comes to history, there's a lot of like things you know or been experienced to already because of different classes. So that's good to understand. And it's always good to understand like where these writings came from. So you want to kind of know if the author is legitimate or not. Yeah, so that's normally found at the bottom or on the top. So yeah, this is primary homework help. Yeah, so this information seems to be legit in terms of kind of helping students find out a quick answer. Okay. Yeah, I mean, so from here you can kind of know what you just learned. So you could write down what you learned here. There you go. If we had a bigger class size, I would put the lesson plan up here of all the students of what they learned. So as you're writing what you learned, once you're done, you could write one fact of what you knew, what you learned, and what you wanted to learn up here. There you go.
So
You can bring your notes with you.
So what
So you could just write what you know, what you want to know, and what you learned. It's okay.
So it's one thing.
Yeah.
One thing.
So what did you know before? You want to read that?
World War II started in 1939 when Germany invaded Poland.
Okay.
So what I want to know was who was Great Britain's Prime Minister during World War II, and then what I learned was so I'm just gonna read first name.
Yeah, you could just write his first
So
name.
1939, 1940, he was the Prime Minister. And then Winston Churchill. He was the Prime Minister then.
Perfect. All right, Felix. Have you used this lesson plan before? The knowing what you want to know and what you learned. The KWL.
I'm pretty sure I used it during 5th grade, but we haven't done it any year.
5th grade. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect. For me, I've used it in elementary, middle school, and high school. It's really helpful in kind of organizing what you've learned and kind of keeping a track of your scholarly work when it comes to a topic. We can move on to lesson plan 2. Okay, the second lesson plan that I will be teaching Felix is dealing with poetry, and the poem that we're going to be analyzing is The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. This is grade level 6, but it can actually go up higher to like grade level 8 when it comes to analyzing this poem. It's a pretty high level read. Some goals that we want to accomplish from here is kind of understanding the difference between metaphors, similes, and words that are actually happening. I know that this can be a struggle for ELL students because because English is their second language. English is also my second language and also Felix's second language. So we came across that growing up. But now it's kind of something where we need to understand, especially when it comes to poetry. The second one is kind of understanding kind of the setting and the content of what's happening in the poem. That's kind of difficult to understand when it comes to reading and kind of words and description words. So I'm going to teach Felix how to do that through drawing. The last one is just reading strategies, kind of doing quick reads, and then also doing a longer read and diving deep into the content of the reading. So I have the poem pulled up for you right here. The first strategy when reading is just kind of doing a quick reading about what it is and reading out loud so you kind of understand the content of it. So you want to read this out loud for me?
Okay. Two roads diverge in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both, and be one traveler, long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth.
Alright, second paragraph.
Then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps a better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though as for that the passing there had worn them nearly about the same, and both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference.
Yeah. So just doing a quick read of this, what do you kind of think of the poem?
Well, a poem is about like two roads, so basically the two roads mean like a path in life of which one you choose.
Yeah. So they're not actual literal
Yeah,
roads,
not
you think,
literal.
right? Yeah. I mean, looking at these two roads, what do you think they kind of look like?
So like one is grasser than the other because the one he chose it said. So the one he chose.
Which line?
So it was. Which one was it? Oh, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Line 8.
Line
It
8.
said because it was grassy it wanted a bird. And then just before that it said I took the other just as fair and having perhaps a better claim. And because it was grassy and wanted a bird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So why do you think he chose the other road?
Because the other road might be more different, and the other road is gonna like be more basic. Of everybody goes there instead of the other way.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Can you kind of connect that to your own life? Like,
Yeah.
have you ever experienced that?
Yeah, like sometimes I think about doing this with my friends, or just going home and like studying,
Mm-hmm.
and like next day it's a test. So I was lucky that I studied.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good connection to the poem.
Yeah.
I mean, so we kind of see these two roads in our minds, but is it okay if you draw it on that for me? Here, you can use colors too. There you go. Also, that was a really good reading strategy that you said. Where in line 8, this is what Robert Frost said.
Yeah.
It's good to kind of analyze readings based on lines, especially in poetry. Have you done that before in classes?
Yeah, we did that like the whole time when we were doing poetry.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. What's one of your favorite subjects for reading? Is it poetry or just like
yeah.
what kind of readings do you like?
Poetry's not the best that we do, but one that I like more is like just well, I mean, not all of them I really like at all, but you know, it's reading. I don't like reading till sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Why? What would you say your favorite subject is?
Well, favorite subject is math because it's easier for me.
Mm.
Yeah, but I had trouble with it in second grade, but in third grade, I just finally got it.
Yeah.
And then third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, again.
That's cool.
That's about it. So.
Yep.
This is the grassy path.
Yeah, I like your drawing. That's so funny. In my mind, when I read this poem, I always think the left side is the less traveled by, but so like the right side is the grassy one. But seeing your idea of it, it's the same.
So I'm pretty sure it's yellow, right? When you're going roads, or is it white?
Yeah, yellow lines in the middle. Yep.
So it looks like. There you go. And then I can put how they diverge the yellow wood.
Oh, yellow wood. Yep. That was like line 1.
Yeah. So that's the yellow wood, I guess.
Mhm.
There's the black one.
That's good. You see arrows on the streets when you
Yeah.
think of it. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of how roads are too. Or signs.
I'm just gonna scribble it.
That works.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Where do you see Robert Frost walking, or yourself walking?
Like maybe in the middle first, but then I'm just gonna look down the road and then probably see which one is.
Yeah, that's true. Do you feel like there's a correct answer to like which road you should take? The road that everyone takes, or the road that you want to make your own?
Well, it's really what you choose that you want to take, and
Yeah.
that's where you get how you get the life and how you choose of how you're gonna get the life. It's really just on yourself,
Yeah.
not really others. But
That's good analyzing of the poem. And like so, when you read the poem and you finish it, this is kind of what you see.
yeah,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Do you think like since the right one is like less traveled by, do you think it's less traveled by in the poem because like it's dirtier, or just like no one wants to take it?
well, probably because no one wants to take it, so it's more unused.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the grass is gonna grow, because they're not gonna trim it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's less trouble.
Oh, that's a really high level thinking right there. I like that. Okay, perfect. Let's go back to the reading. Just for the reading strategy purposes. Let's see. 2 roads diverge in a yellow wood, so that's where you got the diversion from. And the yellow wood, you added that part in the middle.
Yep.
And be one traveler, I said. What other describing words do you think are in here that we can add?
Well, as I said before, line 8, where it said grassy and wanted to wear, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that explains the grassy part that you came up with.
Yeah, and then if you go down to the last one, I said, I took the one that's troubled by, so the grassy part.
Yeah.
And then the fifth line, where it said to where it bent in the undergrowth, so like it's undergrowing.
Oh yeah, the undergrown grass. Yeah.
And yeah, that's about what I see.
Let's see. If you yeah, that's like a pretty deep analyzation of it. Yeah, I mean, in a first read, people might actually think like this guy is traveling real roads, but it's good that you got into that level of detail. Because it was grassy and wanted to wear, though as for the passing there. Yeah, because I know for sure. The first time I read this, I thought it was real roads too, until my English teacher like explained it to me, like what it really looked like and the deeper meaning. For me, teaching you, it's always good to kind of get like my own thoughts on it as well. And after I did more detail and reading about it, I always thought about it like a career path. Like people say you should go to high school
go to college because that's like the easier road to pick. But like Robert Frost, like he picked a different road, and the last line and where it says and that has made all the difference since he kind of created his own path and went on a road that was different from other people. He understood that hey that's what made the difference for him. I mean, in that light, like I can't really see if it was like a good difference or a bad difference,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah. So it's really kind of how you perceive this poem. You see that? Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you mentioned your story earlier about like going to play with your friends or doing homework. Yeah. So it made all the difference, but like you could have been having fun with your friends, you know?
And like fail a test. Or
Yeah,
just-
or failed a test, you know? So it's kind of like which one outweighs which. Yeah. That was like a really good personal story that you explained. Yeah, that's all I have for lesson plan 2. Do you have any questions or anything? Yeah. So, for poetry class for your teachers, I don't know your like school background or anything. I just know you as like the kid that plays Fortnite. So, well, how does your teachers kind of analyze poetry for you?
Well, we kind of analyze it as in like our whole class. We go over one thing at a time where we talk about it and find the meaning through it.
Like a line,
Yeah.
line by line.
Well, not line by line, but like one thing and one thing. So like
Mm.
just trying to go into a deeper meaning with the poem. Really.
Oh yeah. You think that helps, like in a bigger group or a smaller group? Which one do you prefer?
Well, my class is kind of like allowed because some people not really fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that.
But then like it's kind of harder if we go into a smaller group because since we're just a normal ELA class, like we're not advanced or anything, so it's kind of harder for us to go into a deeper meaning. But then if our teacher like help with us in a big group, then it makes it easier for us to learn it.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah, yeah. So kind of that shift from like smaller group into bigger group discussion. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, I understand where you come from. Like I was a student as well, so there are those kids that are like kind of noisy, so like disrupts the learning process. But yeah, so yeah, for you, have you done the kind of idea of drawing out what the setting looks like for poetry before?
Well, I think I have in 4th grade, but yeah, not 5th grade, 6th grade.
Okay. Do you enjoy that process or not really? I don't know.
Not really. I don't really like to draw a lot.
Oh, you're not a big drawer?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not a drawer.
Yeah. So, is there anything that would help you understand poetry better, you think, that has happened for you in class?
Well, probably just dissecting the poem, so I can understand one paragraph and understand the other.
Yeah, that's a good way of learning. Yeah, I saw that in your reading strategies and comprehension when you were just kind of reading it and picking out lines from each paragraph. That's a good one. Yeah, that's something that I'll keep in mind for sure. Cool. And yeah, for lesson plan 1, do you think we kind of covered the goals of like how to find information, how to understand the different kind of sources? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Do you use the KWL strategy anymore, or like not really? What do you normally do for learning? Like, you just kind of write down.
Yeah, we'll just kind of jot down like dots and what the real answer is.
The real answer.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. You enjoy history?
Yeah, history is fun.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy math and like STEM programs like that, like science stuff too. But the classes focus around reading and like history and like comprehension. So next time we can do that. Cool. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Yeah. Have a good day, Felix.
You too.